Well, welcome back. As I was saying, Opthea raised $90 million from Insto Investments via a share placement at $1.15 per share. But that's not the end of the story. So to tell us where the funds will be used for and a little bit more about the collaboration with LaunchTX, CEO Megan Baldwin joins us now. Megan, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us. So we know that Opthea is all about retinal diseases and treating those, but why the need to raise this money? I mean, what's the next sort of phase for growth?
Yeah, so we are in the final phase of clinical development with our drug OPT302, which is in development for wet AMD. We're in phase 3 clinical development. It's very important for us, given this is the last phase of clinical trial testing that we'll undertake before we hope to be approved and then launch the product for the use in patients. It's very important that we do certain pre-commercialization activities for the therapy so that we are set up and ready to bring this drug to patients. Right now, we have 2 very large clinical trials that are ongoing. We are testing the trial in almost 2,000 patients worldwide. And so the current financings that we have undertaken and announced yesterday, in totality, they are close to US $250 million. So it is really to fund the phase 3 clinical trials, to pay for our operational expenses and to have good cash position going into our top-line data readout for these studies, which we expect in the middle of 2024. So it puts us in a very strong position. And you mentioned the $90 million US placement, but we also undertook an up to $170 million non-dilutive financing transaction with Abingworth Carlyle as well, which I think is very validating for the company. And in totality, those 2 financings actually put us in a very strong cash position to deliver on the trial and actually bring this drug to patients.
Yeah, no pressure with all that money coming through. You've got to be pretty confident that this is a viable and easily commercialized product. So just a little bit more, I mean, will this cover sort of setting up manufacturing facilities, or how does that all work to get this treatment to market ASAP?
Yeah, so we work with a very large contract manufacturing organisation who makes the drug for us. They do that under contract with us. That's Thermo Fisher Scientific. We do need to obviously pay for that manufacturing and optimise the manufacturing. And there's a certain number of repeat manufacturing batches that you have to do with your drug as well, so that you can take that data package to the regulators and present that to them to show reproducibility and that you can produce the drug in a very reliable way. We're a very long way down that path of manufacturing, but certainly some of the financing, the funds that we've raised this week will actually go towards building that data package with the molecule. But importantly, it will also go towards building out our US team. We are a NASDAQ and an ASX listed company. We're building out our commercial team so that we're in a really good position to launch this product. And we've really grown the footprint of the company, having a real strong presence in the US now. And some of the financing that we've undertaken will actually go towards building out that presence, actually getting the mind share of physicians, ensuring that they know about us, ensuring that they understand what our drug does, and the benefit that it actually can offer patients in order to improve their vision. And that's a process that needs to start now before you actually get to the end of phase 3, so that people can recognise what a great potential therapeutic this is and how it can really change the outcome for patients.
Okay, now, Megan, when it comes to the type of support that you got, did you get a lot of support from this from existing shareholders? Did you have new shareholders coming onto the register?
Yeah, so we actually have always had a very strong support from institutional investors from around the world. We saw really fantastic support from our existing shareholders that participated in the financing. We were very grateful for that. But it is a large financing to get us well set up for phase 3 and commercial development. And we also welcomed a number of new institutional investors from around the world as well. So there were new US funds, new funds out of Europe, new funds out of the UK, out of Asia Pacific region as well. So there was quite a lot of investors that came in and wanted to participate in this placement of 90 million. Frankly, because I think they also saw the validation of fantastic investors like Carlyle and Abingworth, who have a very much a track record of successful investing in biotech, who are putting money into the company, taking on clinical and commercial risk but have really obviously assessed that risk to be very low. And that's really set us up now to be able to invite and have new institutional investors come into the company and support in our placement as well.
Okay, so what next? Now, I know that this is massive. I know that this funds you for the next leg of growth and commercialization, but it's been a really tough area of the market for investors, clearly, because there's been so much upheaval in equity markets. What's your main job, Megan? Is it going out there right now, getting that commercial team out, sales, marketing, setting everything up? What's your pure focus now that you've got that cash in the bank?
Yeah, look, it's certainly thinking about building out our commercial team, but I think the step before that is to ensure that we execute and deliver our clinical trial. And as I said, that is 2 clinical studies, logistically a big job because they're global studies. We've got over 25 countries that are involved in recruiting patients for us. So we want to make sure that that is done in the most robust way possible. And we're building our team to ensure that that's very well managed. On the sideline to that is also thinking about, okay, how can we best be prepared to have a very successful launch of this new therapy that we believe is going to be absolutely game-changing for patients and actually enable them to see better. So we need to make sure that we're doing everything as early as possible so that we're well prepared. We need to keep our eye on ensuring that our data package and all the things that we need to do to submit to the regulators around the world, including the FDA, is all in line. But we have a great team to execute on that. We've had a lot of interactions with regulators before. We understand what our commercial launch plan is, and we've got great people around the table that have launched products before as well. And so I think, it's about ensuring that the market understands that this non-dilutive financing, it's highly competitive to kind of get these kind of non-dilutive financings away, particularly in an environment where the markets have been so challenging. But we're doing it on the basis of really strong positive data that's given our investors a lot of confidence in the potential of our product. So now we execute, we put our head down, we get the trials done, we prepare for commercialization, we update the market on how we're going, and we really prepare to have a very successful therapy that actually improves vision in patients. And that's the main thing that we keep our eye on, getting a new drug on the market that gives physicians options so that patients have best outcomes.